Adam Lerner, and welcome to this week's Friday Flickr photo critique. This week we have a very interesting photo set from a young gentleman hailing from Paris, France, Jeremie. Yeah, right, that's probably a terrible accent, so my apologies. But Jeremie sent me actually two photo sets, one of which was shot digitally and one was shot on film, and I chose to use the digital one to talk about here on the critique. So very first image we have was shot in Vegas, thus the title Vegas Baby. Nice job with the backlight. You know, he used this statue to block the sun and expose the rest of the frame well. The fountain you see going on over there, I would have liked to have seen maybe something that really gives you the sense that we're in Vegas. I would have liked to have seen the light passing through the fountain, because I think that the sculpture on its own, you know, it's I don't know, it's not doing a whole lot for me. But you know, I think that the processing is kind of cool, and I kind of like what's going on here. So let's move on. All right, this one I'm guessing was taken on the Seine River in France, and there's something I really like about the shapes and the structures and all these windows, and it's just, I find this to be very, very appealing. I think it's really, really nicely exposed. I think that this was actually shot with one of those new Fuji X100s. So you can see the color rendition is really nice. It's super, super sharp. There's not really any distortion going on here. This was definitely one of my favorites, because you had like these neat monotones, but then you had these like little splashes of color going on over here. You had a few people hanging out. It's a deep, deep shot. I mean, I don't know, for some reason I see this, you know, easily being a postcard or a poster for that matter. Really, really like this one, and I'm going to make sure to fave this one as well. Okay, this is a shot of a little Fiat, and this is, you know, I guess this is that Fiat that they've now kind of reintroduced a modern version. So this is the original. Certainly a very cute car. And I don't know, I'm not crazy about the exposure here. I mean, obviously it was taken on a bright day and this was shot in the shade, but the whole thing's a little dark, and what really kind of doesn't work for me is this other car. It's kind of distracting. If there was more separation between the Fiat 500 and the background, or the car was shot in a way that kind of just give it more of an aggressive stance, I would have liked it better. So I think that there's a lot of ways that you can photograph cars and vehicles and in an urban setting like this. And maybe if Jeremie had just maybe stepped a little bit around the car some way and maybe taken a few different others, I would have liked to have seen that. I do like the black and white processing. I think that was well done. Moving on. We are at the Louvre. Yeah, my French sucks. Okay. Very cool. And you know, the thing I like about this is the kind of that urban isolation. You know, you've got this epic structure, you've got the modern IMP entryway against the original structure in the back, and you've got the fountain going on here, and you got this one solitary dude just maybe sketching or writing in his journal. It's nicely exposed. We still have plenty of detail in the water here. I like all the lines and the shapes. This really nice leading line that leads you right to the dude. So, you know, just a nice, pleasant urban street shot. All right, this one's a lot of fun. I love that, you know, her expression is just really joyful. What really seals the deal for me is, hello, this guy here carrying what looks to be a camera or a camcorder or something like that, and you can tell he is like looking right at her, because why not? She's cute, she's got a nice smile, she's holding some vintage binoculars. I love that the setting here in this square is you know, it's exposed nicely enough that you can tell that we're in Europe, we're in a square, but the selective focus in that she's popping in the front of the frame is really great. And I think that this is just a lot of fun. I really like this one quite a bit. And here we go. We have another iconic shot that kind of, again, reminds me of that first shot we saw of the Seine. This appears to be a cafe. We've got the Peugeot bicycle, bicyclette, vintage bike, beautiful bike, actually. I'm a huge bike fan. And we've got the menu written in chalk, and I like the way that the color of the menu writing kind of corresponds to the color of the bike and the colors that we've got here on the sidewalk against this really deep, lush red. I really like the exposure here, and I just think as far as a cityscape, it just has a really nice thing. Again, this has that kind of postcard, wish you were here kind of visiting Paris kind of look to it. Very nicely done. Okay, so we have the Fiat 500 again, and this I really greatly prefer the way it was photographed here. I think the stance is really nice, although if I wanted to pick a little bit on it, I would just say just lower angle, just a little bit lower angle. I think I like that more for the car. However, you can see that the way that he photographed it is that he was able to catch the reflection of the courtyard or the buildings in the sky in the courtyard in the windshield of the car. Very nicely exposed. I like the way that the courtyard is fairly monochromatic, other than like the beiges and greens of the plants. However, we've got the red car and the nice blue sky in the reflected window, and it's not oversaturated. The red looks nice. There's a little bit of extra vignetting going on here, but I don't mind it. I like Jeremie's processing. I think he's onto something. I think he's doing a nice job. This is cool. We've got some people looking at a store window, maybe some little marionettes over here. What really makes this image work is obviously this child's face making a connection with the subject over here. You've got some other people doing their cell phone pictures, and maybe mom looking on at the child's face and kind of enjoying the joy that the child is getting from it. I would like to maybe see a little bit more of the reflection of them in the window. Look, it's a quick street grab. I like the fact that the people are completely oblivious to being photographed here. And I just like that, Jeremie's just walking around and just taking pictures of stuff that he likes and just saying like, hey, this is my city and here's some cool stuff. This one is probably one of my favorites. This one works really, really, really super well. We've got this person writing in their journal, and maybe that's a thematic thing. Like maybe Jeremie is looking for people that have kind of like that kind of way of finding peace and concentration in an urban setting. I like the fact that the framing that's going on here. We've got the cafe, we've got the table. I like that the table wasn't cut off. And I like the fact that the subject of this image is not aware of being photographed. So I think that it really works. I think the tones are really nice. Overall, I think this shot works very, very well. And this is probably my favorite from the shot because look at this guy. I mean, how can you argue with him? I mean, he has just got such a dignified manner. He's got what appears to be, a custom shirt, a custom-made shirt. Very, very well put together, very stiff jaw, but yet a very kind of gentle look in his eyes. There's really nice catchlight going on in his eyes. And, there's just something really powerful about, the way that this was shot. And apparently this was just shot, in the subway, which, I think to get this level of detail and exposure is not that easy when you're shooting, without a flash. I think the X100, it's got that 35mm f2 lens, so very nicely done. I will say that, Jeremie's got a really, really nice eye. I like the landscapes that you've done, the cityscapes, and I also like the portraits. And I would also like to maybe see you actually do some portraits because I think you've got a knack for seeing people connecting with their surroundings, and I think that that's really great stuff. So thanks, Jeremie, for submitting, and thank you guys for your submissions. I've been going through them, and I hope to get to yours someday soon. If you would like to submit, please send your Flickr photo set or 500 pics photo set of your 10 best images. And one additional note, if you guys can maybe try to send a cohesive set, one of the things that attracts me to to photo sets is when they're cohesive. I know some of you guys are shooting a lot of different kinds of things, and you want to basically say, hey, look at the range of stuff. I can shoot, landscapes and portraits and soccer matches and street shots and blah, blah, blah. I tend to prefer or am more attracted to photo sets that are a little bit more cohesive, where there's some kind of a common thread involved. So if you can maybe, when you're assembling your photo set, think about that, then submit those 10 best in a Flickr or a 500 pix photo set to me, to adamlernerphoto@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That's it for now, and we'll see you soon.